What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the third episode of In the Van podcast. I am your host, Zachary Stevenson, and I'm here with co-host Taylor Price, and we are joined here today with Dylan and Drew Miller, also known as Cardiac Calf.
Yeah, dude, we're so glad that you guys had us on. Been looking forward to this for a while, and like the van vibe, it's legit.
Dude, I'm glad
It
y'all
is
like
legit.
it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is
It's like the
amazing.
real deal in here.
Oh, yeah.
So we love it.
Definitely a vibe and what we try to rock with. But
Yeah,
with that's such an interesting name, Cardiac Calf. So
yeah.
going into one of our first questions for y'all guys, how did y'all guys come up with the name Cardiac Calf?
So really, it kind of started one day when we had a show coming up, our first show ever, and we needed a band name, and so I was sitting in church, and I was like, I don't really know what we're going to call ourselves. And so I was thinking, well, Dylan has a heart condition,
Mhm.
and that's kind of where the cardiac comes from.
Yeah,
And then the half is like, I'm deaf in my ear.
yeah.
And
okay.
so
I
I'm
didn't
sitting-
know that.
Yeah, I'm deaf in this left ear and can't hear anything.
Yeah, I couldn't tell with the way y'all sing.
What?
Definitely. So I said I couldn't tell.
What? Nah, I'm messing.
Yeah.
I love getting people with that.
That's
That's
funny.
But no, anyways, it was like cardiac or like heart half or something at
Yeah.
first, and I was like, dude, that sounds lame. So
Yeah.
then I took it to Dylan, and I was like, what do you think about cardiac half? And he was like, yeah, let's do
Well,
that.
I mean, we were looking for the perfect band name for literally years.
Oh, that's true. It did
just like
start.
always in
Yeah.
the back of my mind. And so when he sent that, I was like, it's not the worst one, so let's do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember when we were trying to come up with a name for the podcast, and man, we put out all kinds of things that sounded whack or sounded different. But and then Taylor was like, "What about In the Van?" I heard it. I was like,
That's the one.
"I like that. That sounds good." In the
Yes.
Van. It's
Yeah.
simple. It's nice.
Mhm.
I like it.
And it's
Yeah.
niche, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it
really
is,
cool.
For
definitely.
sure. Yeah.
Can't
Really
find that
cool.
anywhere. And we're actually in a van, which
Yeah.
I can't get over.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, it's
cool. I
cool.
like it.
Yeah. So how long have you two been pursuing music together?
Well, we were both kind of raised in it with our parents being musical and our grandparents, but I think in 2014, Drew started a like a solo project under his name, and after a little while of recording a couple of songs there, I think he just kind of had a change of heart and was like, no, we need to do it as a band, and so in 2016 is when Cardiac Calf actually started, and we played our first few shows, and it's definitely been different over the last few years, and we definitely have kind of adapted as we've gone, but it's been since 2016.
Yeah, definitely evolved a lot over the years.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
I like that song, "Work in Progress." Y'all have like it's something that us as doing the In the Van podcast thing, we can relate a lot to, and I really dig that, and think that's really cool.
Yeah, and the thing with that song, man, I was getting asked all the time, how come you don't have like a full-time job? How come you're not doing this? How come you're not using your degree? All this stuff. And it was like, look, I'm figuring things out, and I think, as millennials and Gen Z, we're all kind of figuring things out still.
Yeah.
And every day something new. So it was just like, hey, man, we're a work in progress, and that goes for music, that goes with life, that goes with everything.
Oh yeah, that's a big step, and that's crazy and hard for a lot of people to do, to actually like go out and follow their passion that hard.
Yeah,
Like,
and find it.
Yeah.
Really.
yeah, definitely. And like, I always knew I wanted to do something, be creative with something like this. And once I kind of found it, we all kind of built a team and ran with it. And it's been working so far, but it has been hard also with a full-time job and
Sure.
all of us working those
Sure.
hours after to
Yeah.
get this stuff done. And it is a lot of work. and-
Well, I think that's something that Drew had to learn at first, was that going at it like alone, solo, is just it's very difficult. And
Oh, yeah.
so when we when I joined, and we had a few band members kind of filter in and out, but without the team around you, like without the tech guy and without the just the team to really keep you going and
Yeah.
to keep you motivated, it's pretty impossible. So
Right. Yeah, definitely didn't want to go it alone. And then also money was tight. So I
Yeah.
ended up,
Yeah.
I did get that full-time job and still
Yeah.
trying to pursue music. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
you said, it's just crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's
crazy.
definitely a valiant effort
Yeah.
of doing everything. And
right.
like I remember when we first started this podcast, I didn't really tell nobody. It was like a lot of internal ideas within myself and at work. Me being buddies with Gage, and we've only known each other for a short period of time, but I remember I
Right.
expressed myself to him as far as like my ideas and what I was wanting to do, and he's like, "Heck yeah, man, I want to do the same as far as being a creator." And he was wanting to start a YouTube channel, and I told him about the podcast thing, and he's like, "Dude, I love it." And it shocked me because I didn't think he was like. I just had to get it off my chest to tell somebody. I don't even think I told Taylor at that point.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I know, right? But and he gave me an answer that shocked me that he really wanted to do something like that too. So we both kind of went at it alone at first, tried to figure things out. And we realized that
Y'all
that
realize
stuff's
y'all
hard.
needed me.
That's right. That's right.
Taylor,
Pretty much.
enter.
Pretty
That's
much.
legit. Yeah, man. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Definitely.
So within your passion for music, how did you kind of figure that out? Because I know that's hard for some people to figure out their own passion.
Yeah, well, it didn't come as natural as you might think. In one way, it did because, like Dylan said, we grew up kind of on the road with every weekend with our family. They sang music
cool.
at different churches throughout the state of Florida and Georgia, and so we had that innate desire to pursue music. But really, after taking private lessons for years and years, I think I ended up quitting, at some point, and I just got tired of piano.
And
Like
that's when he
burnout?
started wrestling in the 75-pound weight division in middle and high school. So,
I bulked up to 93 eventually.
Oh yeah,
man, Drew Miller in that singlet, that was a sight I want to get out of my head
Yeah,
for
definitely.
as
Well,
much
let's
as I
not
can.
let's not remind me of that either. It's not good.
That's funny.
Skin and bones. Anyway, yeah, just so I think it wasn't until high school where I realized, hey, I have been missing out on music and I want to get back into it. And so from then on, music started to become personal.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
That's
something
cool.
like this is very new to us, and we're new to it as well. And this is kind of the thing. Like I've always knew I wanted to create something, like I said earlier. And once I found my passion, I just try to run with it the best I could and just follow it. And so far, I've been loving it.
Yeah.
Just had a
Yeah.
feeling like when I was a kid, like almost that I can't think of the word, but it's like the excitement you almost feel as a child.
Mm.
Like I kind of
It's like
feel that
childlike wonder,
yeah,
you know?
I
Yeah.
kind of feel that
Mm.
same excitement again because you know how when you work or get old, you kind of get in the mundane life of like work 9 to 5 every day and that's it. But
Yeah,
It can really affect creativity if you let it.
definitely. So
So-
speaking of creativity, sorry.
Go ahead.
Y'all have a lot of like really good songs. Like
Thank
me
you.
and Zach, we love
Definitely.
y'all's lyrics
Yeah.
and stuff.
Thank
So
you.
how do y'all
Thank
kind of
you.
get in that creative mindset when trying to write music?
Yeah, really for me, I think most of the time ideas just come to me when I'm driving
Oh, cool.
in my car. Like I really associate visually like what I'm
Mhm.
seeing, what the mood is
You're
out
a
in
real
nature.
visual person.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And so that kind of affects my music.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to just sit down and say I'm going to write,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is a good skill that I'm working at.
Oh yeah.
But just that inspiration.
Definitely. Well, within a lot of people, that's the good thing about having a team and having the right people to fill in certain spots. Because some people are more of visionaries, and some people are more of like integrators as far as like getting things done. And
Yeah.
That's
That's
Dylan.
where a good team comes in and really just makes things work.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
I think that's why we started working together anyway at the start, was because Drew had all these big ideas and wanted to do music. And then I was like, so let's get it done. Let's actually
Yeah.
do it. And
Nice.
so, he does handle majority of the songwriting. But from that point, it's like, all right, well, we got to get it recorded. We got to do this. We got to get it to distribution. We got to do a marketing campaign. And that's kind of where I've
That's good.
always come
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
the big
for-
idea person, and then like you said, the integrator.
Yeah,
and
that's-
Dylan's really
that's
good at
cool.
booking us shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Because if it was left up to me, it would just be like I'm sitting around going, "Hey, does anyone want to like hear my music?" I don't
Yeah.
really know where to go with it.
That's funny.
Yeah, definitely. That's how I can kind of relate as far as like the visual side of it. Like that's why I need Taylor here because
Yeah.
she keeps all of us on track, and also Gage. He's a very integrated person as well as a very visual person. We all just bounce off of each other and get things done.
Right.
Without that, it's really I don't know. It's hard to carry on and keep that momentum going.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. That's
Totally
good.
true.
So we know that you have a big family within everything y'all do. How do they support you and going into all this?
Oh yeah, we
Man.
see your mom and dad posting everything
Oh,
on
man.
Facebook.
So
Gotta
we're,
love
we're
'em.
actually talking
Yeah.
about that on the way over because when we first started, mom's comments were like, every post we're like, I'm so proud of my baby's
Oh,
jersey.
yeah.
And so I talked to her and I was like, Mom, we are trying to be professional. So if you're gonna comment, keep it professional.
Yeah.
And I think she was mad at me at first, but now every post her and Dad comment, and so how it really started was they're the ones who told us back when we were in high school, hey, we want you to go to college, but find something that you're so passionate about that you would do even if you didn't get paid. And we really took that to heart with music.
That's good.
Um,
I like that.
But
Yeah.
but I think that they've had to learn over their growth and their adult life that like life can be boring and monotonous, and so you don't want to be at that job that is like I want to bash your head against the wall at the end of every Monday or whatever.
Yeah.
And so to find that passion, and so like Drew said, they started it with us. They like my grandmother taught me how to play bass when I was 10, and she
Man, she's bad to the bone. That woman can
Yeah.
play like
Sh-
almost
yeah.
every instrument.
she can
Really?
she played banjo, guitar, piano better than me and Drew, bass better than me, and better than anything, she's the best hunter in our family. So she her
Oh, yeah.
nickname is
That's
Big
cool.
Bullet Becky, and that girl can knock out some
good.
deer.
Don't,
so-
don't make her
That's
mad.
sweet.
Don't make her
That's
sweet.
right.
Yeah,
No, we love
yeah
her.
that's
That's
someone not to
funny.
mess with.
Yeah.
No, so I mean, really, we got our inspiration from them, and then they've even helped us after college. And for a while, we were living on our own with our bandmates as a way to pursue the band further. And we kind of decided after 2 years of that, like, hey, no, let's move back home with Mom and Dad, which in your mid to late 20s is kind of humbling.
Yeah, why don't
Yeah.
you just tell everybody?
Well, but I
Hey,
think,
that's fine too though. Like, 'cause-
yeah,
No, it's totally true. I've learned to accept it. Like it's really the only thing is pride.
yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
can shut your pride down,
Oh,
then
yeah.
you got to take steps, whatever the steps are, to make sure that the dream can become a reality.
because the
That's
dream
true.
is way more important than our pride. And so they were gracious enough to let us move back
That's
and
good.
to really enable us to live our dream every day.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, because rent there is cheaper.
Yeah,
And in
definitely.
the real world, all
Yeah.
right,
and the
Yeah.
food's included.
Yeah,
food's included.
exactly.
Man, come on, preach.
That's awesome.
Uh,
That's
but
good
yeah.
that y'all have really good support systems through your
Yeah.
family and
Yeah,
stuff.
your parents sound like they really do support you really well, and that's awesome to hear.
Yeah,
Definitely.
love those guys.
And they're at every show that we've ever played wearing their Cardiac Calf merch.
Heck yeah.
They are all in with it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to
And
give me some of that.
come on, hey, we got some new orders coming soon.
Sweet,
But
sweet.
Yeah.
and then the last thing is that my dad every morning when he works out,
Yeah,
he's got all 7, 8 Cardiac
He
Calf
just
songs on
jams
repeat.
through 'em.
Dude,
Yep.
Hey, that's good. That's
I like them, dude. They
that's been lately.
they pump me up. I'm definitely
Sweet.
one that loves music, and I love like hearing instruments played live and stuff like that. But I'm not good at that type of stuff. Even though I try hard, like I'll sing my heart out, but the people listening might not want to listen to me singing that.
I know he was singing Looking Glass. I was like, just leave it to them.
All
Zach, just
right,
leave it to
they-
them.
it was like,
They're-
hey,
Yeah, and that is y'all's new single that
Yeah.
y'all just released.
Yeah.
and
yeah, just
One-
last week,
Yep. Last week.
last Friday. So it's pretty fresh, and I mean, it was
Yeah.
all hands on deck. We didn't work with a publicist
Oh,
or
wow.
anything this go round. Dylan and I kind of sat down with our ladies and then some other folks.
A
and
lot
we
of
just-
YouTube videos of learning how
Yeah.
and why to do some of it.
And so
Oh,
we
yeah,
just started
definitely.
like pitching it and trying to get on playlists and blogs
Yeah.
and all
Sweet.
that stuff.
Do y'all feel like y'all enjoyed doing that, like yourselves?
no?
No.
No?
Well, so Drew doesn't as much. I did. I actually had a pretty detailed marketing and posting plan kind of written out, and it started several weeks ago when we released we do a series called Alt Takes where we take our songs or other songs and put like a different spin on it, and so we started this detailed plan of like, all right, well, we got that, and then after this we're gonna go to this. And so really for the next several months, we have listed out what's going to be released. And that's something different than we haven't done before.
right.
But consistency is important with
Mhm.
anything,
Definitely.
especially when you're a creative with
Definitely.
the podcast or with
Yeah.
the music. So
Yeah,
Nice.
that's again, Dylan is the guy for that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you want someone to keep the trains running on time, to make sure that you're getting out in front of people, to make sure that everything is coming together, I am not your guy.
Yeah, I hear that.
That's funny.
Definitely.
But that's good that you said that you like researched it and watch YouTube videos. Because when
Mhm.
you want to do something and you want to do it the best, you got to
Yeah.
research it. You got to
Yep.
be the one that knows about it.
YouTube's
That's
pretty
right.
good. It comes in handy,
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
for like someone like me. Like I'm a very visual learner. Like it's hard
Yeah.
for me to read or have somebody tell me something and
Same.
me comprehend a lot of that. Like I have to see it inside of a picture or something like that, or
Mm.
like see it in front of my face or hands on.
Well,
Exactly.
it's really a great time to be a creative and to learn new
Mhm.
things because, I'm taking a music course online right now that costed me $3 for like a 12-week course on
Wow.
the music
Did
program
you
we
take out a
run.
loan for that?
No, I could
Yeah,
I
no,
could
that-
afford it. I cut out coffee for a week, but but I mean that, and then YouTube, everything that we need is at our fingertips.
Yeah,
We just have to put in the time to do it. And so, we could spend $1,200 on a publicist, or we could spend, $400 on an ad campaign
Right.
and see way more results just because we did the research ourselves.
Definitely.
So it was pretty neat, and that's something that we look forward to doing more in the future.
And it
Yeah,
is
that's cool.
complex because like it changes all the time. You know,
Yes.
social media changes.
definitely.
Yeah, be on
marketing,
trends
yeah,
and stuff like that.
everything changes, so it's hard to keep up.
Yeah,
and
you
you
gotta
just gotta
stay
like
so on
constantly
it.
research. It's
Yeah.
not like once you research and learn it that you're done. Like
Yeah.
it's like you should
Yes.
always be learning.
Yeah, definitely.
That's sweet. So within doing everything as far as making music, going out to other people and talking with them and getting together as teams, what are some obstacles that y'all may face as far as making new music or anything or experiences as far as playing live or anything like that?
Ooh, where to start? That's a loaded question. We've
Yeah.
run into our fair share of difficulties. I think again one of the things is obviously financially. So a lot of shows you're really only making money off of door sales.
Mhm.
And so when there's not a lot of people that come out for whatever reason, let's
Yeah.
say
COVID-19.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right, where your marketing didn't work out for that show and people
Mhm.
didn't take the I don't want to say take the bait, like how I
Yeah.
got you, but
Yeah,
it's really hard to play some of those shows and know that you're not
definitely.
really gonna
How
make it.
has this past pandemic affected y'all
Mm.
and as far as making music? Because I know that's very personable
Mm.
thing to do as far as reaching out with people and things like that.
I would actually say that it kind of helped us because I think we were kind of falling behind on some things with our live performance, and even with having music kind of, like I said, with consistency being key, we were kind of falling behind on, all right, what do we release next week? Or we would take 2 months between posting. And
Mhm.
so we
Yeah.
kind of made the most out of our quarantine, and we designed a light show for when we play live. We had
Dude, oh,
one of
man.
our team members, Roger,
He's
who
brilliant.
does several videos for us, but he also designed like the construction of these lights and put them together. And then through Ableton and MIDI, me and Drew kind of went through and designed several different lights for all of our songs. So things like that. Writing, I would say Drew had a little bit more time to devote to writing.
Yeah, like I think that when the pandemic hit, yeah, I was actually prior to that on like a getting ready to stress, blow the gasket off, have like a mental breakdown.
Oh yeah.
And so COVID stopped everything. And I was like, whoa, I have time to like be creative and really dive into this thing. And so that's what I did. And so I did a lot of writing, a lot of composing, things like that. And I felt better having that time
Mhm.
to devote it. And also, like Dylan said, it was probably good, at least for the band as well, because we were still kind of changing. We had just gotten out of, at that point, we had just gotten out of a full band situation to, hey, Dylan and I, it's the brothers, that's
Mhm.
the brand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so we were still trying to figure things out. How do we make this happen? Just the two of us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So COVID was kind of good to us.
Yeah, I
Oh,
would say
that's
the
great.
other some of the other obstacles has to do with it's kind of like this catch-22 of, well, you need money
Yeah.
to pursue your passion,
Definitely.
but you need time also to pursue your passion, but you have to have that time spent towards making money. And so it's this constant circle. And so
Yeah.
one thing of like, if we ever got the opportunity to go full-time into music, one of the biggest obstacles to me has to do with health insurance and needing
Mhm.
health insurance
Definitely.
for living and for my family. And and everything. How do we balance that? And so,
And primarily for you because you had a heart condition.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell? I'm curious if you would like to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
sure,
Your surgeries.
I did forget that COVID was also a blessing, because in that year, in last year, I had to have my second open heart surgery, and so that was I had to take a couple weeks off, and so it was actually right as we were designing all of this light show. So we didn't design lights for like 4 weeks, and then after surgery, a few weeks later, we came back and finished. But basically, long story short, they replaced my aortic heart valve.
Okay.
This was the second time they've operated on it, but last time they repaired it, this time they replaced it, and it was successful. Praise the Lord, because
awesome.
now I don't have that hanging over my head at the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
moment.
And
Yeah.
so now we're just changing the
It's
band
amazing.
name to Half.
Okay, yeah.
Just gonna be Half because the
Just
cardiac
Half.
guy's been
yeah.
fixed.
Yeah, he's fixed now. He don't need it no more.
No, but it was probably good timing for it to happen last year, rather than taking a year off for COVID and then
Mhm.
also another few months off for heart surgery. It all happened at the same time.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's good.
And I've noticed earlier y'all talking that y'all said that y'all had friends helping y'all out. Do y'all want to give any kind of shout outs or anything
Oh,
like that for
man, I
people
mean,
that have helped y'all?
whoa.
I know there's probably a lot, but not
Yeah, it's like-
neglecting anybody that
Yeah.
maybe y'all don't say or something like that. But
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we have some people in our inner circle that like we work with on the reg,
yeah,
and so
they know who
um,
they are.
Yeah, you got
Well, again, with Cardiac Half being the brother duo,
Right.
doesn't mean that we're at this alone, as
No,
we've
yeah,
talked about.
definitely.
And so we do have several people who have, we wouldn't be here without them. We are obviously already mentioned the parents, but I would say the first one would be Roger,
yeah.
who Roger Sisk has done several of our last videos. He's several of our graphics that we've been posting online has been him, and as
He's
well
editing
as
the Looking
light,
Glass music video
which
That's
that's
awesome.
we can touch on.
coming
but
out.
Yep.
Oh yeah, be on the lookout.
And
What up?
there's a future project that he is kind of producing for us, and so that'll be
That's
something that we
awesome.
release in September. So he's number one. We've also had some engineers who have kind of been in our team, which is first and foremost Chris Spears. He plays guitar for us at times, and he's produced some of our music.
Yep.
And then James Pavelko, and then our producers who have helped us with our current project, being Ryan Wilson and Spencer Boyce, and then lastly our drummer, one of our drummers, Nathan Slusser, has just knocked everything out of the park.
And then most of the time we'll use our good friend Benny Bates to do photo shoots.
Oh,
He
yeah.
comes in
Yeah.
clutch.
Yeah,
and,
he's good. Those photos are nice.
Yeah, thank you. I think most of that is just because I'm good looking. The other part comes because of his talent.
Benny
Yeah.
edits really well.
Yeah,
That's why we look
let's say
good.
that. Yeah, Taylor's really good as
Really.
far as taking photos on her own. I know she does it for
Probably
her
not
other
as good
jobs,
as him.
but that's what we have her for, and she's great at with
Also-
as far as like social media and stuff.
Sorry,
too.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
I
you're
just
good.
No, you're
I just
good.
had it hit me. We don't want to leave out our ladies
Yeah.
because
Oh, definitely.
they're big
Support
time
systems.
supporters, and I'm telling you, like on those days when I'm like, why am I doing what I'm doing? You know. So shout out to my girl Audrey Goodman and Dylan.
Yeah, my wife Madeline, who we got married a few months ago, and so
yeah.
Legit.
another reason why
Yeah.
COVID was so great to
Yeah.
us. But I feel like there's a few people on the team we're leaving out, so we put together like a digital street team of our closest fans. So we've got Jacob Dukeman, we got Alyssa Hudson, who's taking pictures for us. We have
She comes
Liz.
out on shoots. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're not forgetting it. Zach, several other people. Anyway, so we have quite the team. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
don't want to miss anyone.
Guys,
Yeah.
if we
Definitely not
forgot you,
us.
just know
Yeah.
that you were loved.
we
just
just
can't.
put them on the spot.
Yeah.
But so let's kind of get off topic as far as like music, 'cause I'm sure y'all are a little tired of talking about yourselves and music. But let's talk about some other things y'all do. What are
Sure.
some other hobbies y'all like to do? Or
yeah,
I know
because
that y'all are. Or go
I
ahead.
definitely stalked y'all's Instagrams a little bit. Y'all are definitely adventurous. Y'all like going out and doing stuff. So what are some?
Yeah.
What's like your favorite activity to do together other than making music?
Well,
We love road trips.
Oh,
Road
yeah?
trips or where it's
Sweet.
at.
Man, I mean, Drew got blessed from my grandparents after he graduated college in 2014 to go on a road trip to Alaska.
Oh, wow.
After I graduated in 2017, they blessed me with a road trip out west to see some national parks.
That's cool.
And last summer we did a road trip to see our grandfather in Oklahoma. That was just the brothers, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so definitely road tripping. We're big fans of Supernatural,
Oh
and the TV
Yeah,
show is
dude.
like
That's a
Brothers
good.
Against
I
the
watched
World.
that religiously.
You know
that's
what
a
I
good
mean?
show.
Yeah,
That's a
you
really
know?
good show.
So that's one way that we bond is through watching Supernatural.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Two brothers against the world, and ours is just two brothers trying to pursue music.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it works.
Fighting your literal and not so literal demons.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Sometimes fighting each other. It's great.
Definitely. And that's
Oh,
something
yeah,
I was gonna
we-
say. Like, I know that I have two other brothers too, a older brother and younger brother. How was y'all's experiences with each other growing up? Like, did y'all get along well, or did y'all fight
Yeah.
back and forth? Because I know me and my older brother, we fought like crazy
Yeah, they're
growing up.
definitely- Yeah.
But
They
now we're
still
like
do a
best
little bit.
friends. But
Well, all right. So I'll put it to you this way: it's like we are best friends, but along with that comes some fights.
yeah, definitely.
And even to this day, like we've obviously it doesn't happen nearly as much. I think what was challenging was, so at one point we were living together.
mm-hmm.
We were
That's always
pursuing the band together.
Oh, gosh.
We were so we own an entertainment business together, DJing weddings and stuff like
Two
that.
Bros Entertainment.
That's right, and represent. And then like we were also working at a church at some
Yeah.
point together. So I saw him more than like any other person.
You saw yourself.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So at
Yeah.
that point, just all that time together, you're bound to have some
Some clashing. some-
quarrels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say growing up, we had a great bond. We were with our family. We traveled to our grandparents' place on the weekends. They had a ministry at a church there in Meriwether County, and so because of that, we kind of had to be close
Mhm.
because our church friends were an hour away while we were at home during the week, and then our school friends were an hour away on the weekends. So we really had each other. And I think that really took shape when Drew went off to college. And, well, let me backtrack. His senior year of high school was my freshman year of high school.
And let me tell you, dude, if anyone like had beef with me, Dylan was like, wait, hold up.
There was
got
there was
this.
one time in particular where someone bashed Tim Tebow, and Drew's a big Tim Tebow fan, and so Drew and this guy were throwing yelling at each other in the hallway,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I got
It was a dumb fight.
Yeah.
all
Dumb
right.
fight. They're
High
always
Like
school.
most high school fights,
You
or
know,
arguments
Tim
and stuff.
Tebow's awesome. No, he's not.
Yeah.
And so I hopped in there and I was like, "You leave my brother alone." And
Yeah.
I'm this short little chunky freshman who,
Shit,
Don't
that
mess
was
with
me
Dylan,
right
bro.
there, yeah.
yeah.
That's so
I mean,
funny.
Look,
So that was big. Drew kind of took me under his wing that year, but then he went off to
cool.
college, and so I had 3 years without him.
and that was hard.
That was
was hard.
tough. But again, I went to the same school as him, so his senior year again, my freshman year, and I think that was the year that we really just connected
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
because
Yeah.
we spent every day binging Netflix and that 70s show and The Walking Dead and
Just
and
hanging, man. Just
hanging.
camping on campus and
Oh yeah.
That's
in the
cool.
woods. Just
climbing roofs on campus.
Oh heck yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
pastime?
climbing?
Climbing roofs.
Yep.
Climbing
That's
roofs.
legit.
That's
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
that we don't disclose often,
Yeah.
but we're not there anymore, so we can't get charged. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Haha,
That-
come
that's
and get
right.
us, Mobile.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's
No,
so
so that was the year that really put us together. But like Drew said, coming back and doing life together nonstop, there's always moments. Anytime you're with anyone nonstop, I'm sure Madeline can attest that I am
Mhm.
very hard to live with at times. But
Definitely.
when you have the bond and you know that hey, no matter what, we're on the same team, and I think that's what we still have, but had
And
for
what's
a while
and what's cool about it is we'll get into some major altercation, but then literally
over
like,
something dumb.
the next
Mhm.
day we're like, hey bro, what's going on? How you
Yeah,
doing?
Yeah.
It's like
definitely.
we don't
It's
even
like keeping up with each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
we know a lot about all that because anyways, me and Taylor have been together for a little bit longer than 4 years now, and then
yeah.
we definitely get tired of each other at times. It's like
Well,
the
yeah.
times away from each other
Definitely.
makes the time with each other a little bit more sweeter.
Make it
Sure,
better.
sure.
But
I
definitely, we
understand that.
definitely come back and we compromise and you just make things happen. That's great. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
Good
like
feeling.
the
Yeah.
age old tale of hey, I'm the only one who's allowed to mess with my brother, but it's
Mhm.
us against the world. Or, hey, I'm the only one who's allowed to bicker with my wife, but if anyone messes with her, like, they're going to feel
Yeah.
bad about it. So it
Yeah.
is us against the
Yeah,
world.
I can call my brother ugly, but you can't
That's
call
right.
my brother
That's
ugly.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. So through y'all like doing a bunch of adventurous stuff, taking road trips and stuff, what's probably the favorite place that y'all visited? Maybe not even together, just favorite place y'all been to.
Oh man, I think Alaska was
Yeah.
cool. There was a trip that we took a couple years ago, and at the last minute, I'm talking the day our flight was leaving to go to South Korea,
Oh,
Dylan fell extremely ill and had to go into the ER.
Oh no.
The day we were flying out, it was
Oh my
crazy. We were
goodness.
going to be performing as Cardiac Half with a local church in South
Oh,
Korea.
that's crazy.
And going to be partnering with them, and I had to go to the ER. So
And so our drummer at the time, he and I went, and we had to like cover, and it was so hard having Dylan be far away, and we actually
Mhm.
played to like 600 South Korean
That's
kids at one
awesome.
point,
That's-
and
that's
they were
cool.
enjoying it. And but it just wasn't the same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because your bro wasn't there. But it was still a good trip, and then we got back, and he was all healed up.
That's
well,
good.
kind of. I was in the
Yeah.
hospital while he was in South Korea. But I would
It
say
was hard.
that was probably one of your favorite spots to perform, though, or to visit.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think at one point after every song, I would say hello in Korean, which is 안녕하세요,
Mhm.
instead of 감사합니다, which is thank you. So after
Okay.
every song, instead of saying 감사합니다, thank you, it was
Yeah.
like 안녕하세요, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Like,
That'd be hard for me to remember. I'm not good with foreign languages. at
They
all.
were-
They were probably like, man, that American's dumb. He keeps greeting us.
Yeah, I know,
they
right?
kept laughing. I'm like, I don't know, it's so funny, but like, all right, we'll just
Yeah.
we'll keep rocking.
So how did you work with your music with that, like performing in South Korea?
Yeah, so I played keys, and then we had some tracks running, and then our drummer played like a stripped kit, so it was very chill.
You
it
sung
wasn't.
it in
Okay.
English.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay.
oh, dude, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, there's
let's
no
say-
way I
I
like.
was about to say that'd be
Yeah,
really
that'd be
hard to
hard.
kind of transition that into.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I remember I gave my testimony in Mexico, and the whole time, like the translator was saying it for me, and sometimes he'd be like, "We don't say that in our language." I'm like,
don't have a
"Uh,
word
I
for
don't
that,
know-
yeah.
I don't know how to rephrase it.
Right, that's what's so hard about English is
Yeah.
it's like the
Our
hardest language.
sayings. Nobody
yeah,
really has the same sayings we have, you know.
exactly.
But with great setbacks like that come great turnovers with things
Yeah.
and passing through obstacles and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I can relate with that because when I used to wrestle, I wrestled for Team Georgia, the national team, over the summers and stuff like that. And right before we were about to go to I think Kentucky or some state to wrestle, we were practicing and ended up breaking my big toe
Oh, wow.
from getting suplexed like
Jeez.
crazy.
Oh.
Like I'd never broke a bone from that point, and it was crazy bad. And then
His toe
I
still
mean-
looks gross.
Oh,
no,
man.
it doesn't.
Kind of
No,
want
it
to see
doesn't.
it, man.
No, it
Dang.
doesn't.
Oh,
Show
it-
and tell.
It don't look that gross, but and then I didn't go on that trip to Kentucky, I think, and then Fargo, which is in North Dakota, and that's like the biggest wrestling tournament in America and some of the world. And there's a training camp a week out from going that you have to attend to go to that tournament. So I think I was out like 2-3 weeks at the time. Then the camp started, so I was like,
Yeah.
I want to go. I'm gonna try, and there's nothing you can really do for a broken toe, so you just kind
Mm.
of have to fight through it. So I tried it out, and by the second day, I realized like I couldn't do it. I had no defense. I couldn't work with it all that well. And shoot, right when we got there, they had us carrying a partner or a teammate around the parking lot for like 2 hours, just running
Ooh.
for 2 hours. And
Wow.
I think that by the end of the first day, my big toe was purple, and I
Ooh.
realized
Oh,
I was like,
gosh.
yeah, it's probably not a good idea. I'm probably gonna hurt myself past
Yeah.
the point of
Man.
doing anything.
Mad respect for trying, because I fractured my wrist one time in wrestling, and it wasn't even like during the match. I like held up my hand to stop the guy because coach had blown the whistle,
Oh yeah.
and dude just like ran into my hand,
Ooh.
like took a shot into it and like snapped it,
Yeah.
and that
Well,
took me out for
And
a
then
while.
I think considering traveling mixed with injuries and fighting through, when I was in 7th or 8th grade, Drew was in 10th or 11th, we went to Brazil on a mission trip, and the trip's memorable for several reasons, but the two that stood out was, one, me and Drew got in a stupid fight over something, and then
who knows?
I think the first night we were down there, Drew dropped a bed frame on his toe, and
Oh,
it
gosh.
It was like
swollen,
something where
right?
you like fold it out
Yeah, and
and,
it
it
just
just
Oh,
like
yeah.
whacked
Came and
my toe,
clipped you.
bro.
So
it
he
hurt
had to
I
sit
feel your
out that
pain, bro.
trip and just like someone put a keyboard in his lap at some time to play, and he couldn't do the construction. But you know,
Oh my gosh.
it was a cool place to visit. But fighting through that pain was probably pretty tough.
Speaking of fighting, after this, you and me, let's go. Let's go to
In
the
the
mat.
van
I was
wrestle.
gonna
No, I'm just kidding, bro. I'm so out of shape. I haven't done that in forever.
I mean, I'm out of shape too, but
Zach says he's out of shape, but he can keep up with some
I
kids.
can keep
not
I'm
up
just
sure
with
he's
like
one.
some
fine.
high schoolers for like maybe a good 10 seconds at the start.
He's
That's
like
why
he's like a one
I'll have to
round.
put them on their butt real
Real
quick.
quick,
or
yeah.
they'll
That's it.
come
Yeah.
through and beat me, and
That's
I-
funny.
then my pride would be hurt.
I
Yeah.
feel that. I feel
So-
that.
So y'all have been on a lot of mission trips and stuff.
Mhm.
How do you think like your parents and your just all your family like having God in your life has like impacted your music?
Yeah. So really, the primary reason that we do music, obviously, like we enjoy what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we definitely want that to be a platform for
Yeah.
what the Lord is doing and stuff. So anytime we have a show, you know, I'll share the gospel, and I'll just talk about how like Jesus has changed us, and how he's
That's awesome.
still changing us, and you know, that's why we do what we do.
Well, and to backtrack to the first question, where the band name comes from, we did name it based on our you know, heart and deafness condition. But when I was sitting in church, like not long after that, our pastor at FFBC shared a quote by Saint Augustine, which
Mhm.
is, "You have made us for yourself, O Lord. Our hearts are restless till they find rest in you." And
Boom,
so
cardiac half.
the thought, I mean, when we first started, we were a punk band that, you know, just sang about breakups and stuff.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
And so, again, searching for satisfaction. And as believers, we know that we're never going to be truly satisfied until we find that rest in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thought of like, man, our hearts are always going to be empty. Our hearts are going to be unsatisfied till we, again, ultimately, at the end of time when we're in heaven, we're going to have satisfaction in Jesus. But for now, what does that look like for us? And if we're not sharing that with everything that we do and through every avenue that we're a part of, we're missing the point.
Definitely.
And so that's why
good,
we
yeah.
we want to share that at shows, because
Yeah.
man, there's so many bands, like we're not going to do anything on our own musically that hasn't been done before, but we can share Jesus. And as you guys
Definitely.
know, when Jesus changes your heart, that's the
Definitely.
best thing that could ever happen.
That's how I
Yeah.
kind of got into the passion, or figured out that I really do want to do a podcast, because I remember
Mhm.
about a good year or so ago, a conversation I had with God in my head. I was like, God, please show me a way that I can have my own voice to praise you or get you out there and stuff like that, kind of like with y'all are doing now. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember in the first thoughts of doing a podcast, it was like one of those thoughts that, you know, I thought would come and then pass eventually. Like, yeah, it's cool, but it's one of those thoughts that rang true in my head like every day. Like, do
Yeah.
it, do it.
He
do
had
it,
it on your
do
spirit,
it,
man.
Do it. Yeah, and I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done waiting. Let's do it. Hitting walls, but then getting over it and then coming this far. So it's cool.
Yeah.
And Drew, why don't you share your first metal concert experience when you were in Mobile?
Oh right,
'Cause
yeah.
that's a big part of why he started and found his passion.
Yeah, this definitely has a lot to do with it. Thanks for reminding me. But I went to this show. It was an Under Oath show, and they kind of went through some changes over their 10 years of band, and you know, had this somewhat Christian vibe. But then as time went on, it was more relativistic. And so one of the things they said at the show that I went to see them at was, "Hey, listen, like we do this for Jesus, but like find something in your life that makes you happy and just pursue that."
Yeah,
And just
no matter what it
and
is.
yeah, no matter what it is. You know, basically believe in yourself and trust yourself and do what makes you happy. And like that's the opposite of the gospel. And so
Yeah.
I was like, if there's gonna be people like that, sharing a false message, then I need to be out there sharing the gospel and the
Right.
Yeah,
truth, you
definitely.
know, which is Jesus and how he's available for everybody.
Definitely.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
That is
uh,
awesome. I didn't know that.
that
That's
really
cool.
affected how I wanted to pursue music.
I'd say that kind of set the course for how and why he wanted to do it, and then I had some similar stuff happen, but we both kind of came together on that, and that's why, again, when we choose not to use our platform for Christ, we're missing the mark. And so
Mhm.
we've been booed a few times at some shows, and And, we don't know if anyone's come to know the Lord through our music, but that's not for us to decide. We're called to go and make disciples. And for us, that looks like playing at bars and venues and really anywhere we can and just telling them about Jesus.
I'm
And
sure
let me
y'all-
tell you, like our grandparents came to a show at a bar. They would never set foot in a bar,
Oh yeah,
but they came to see us. So that
that's that's pretty.
I'm
cool.
like, whoa, that's pretty sweet.
Y'all definitely. For a fact, I'm sure y'all touched many hearts out there and many different people in many different ways. So that's great. And y'all's music are great. So why did y'all really decide to? I know y'all had the band and everything, but why did y'all decide to create Two Brothers Entertainment as far as that, and what kind of stuff do y'all do within that?
So, with being the goal of being an independent artist and being full-time in it, it doesn't pay the bills. And so therefore, one thing that has been stuck in my head since college was multiple streams of income. And some of that could be passive income when it comes to, if Drew writes a song and someone else records it, he's getting money in from that.
That's the best kind of income.
Because
Yeah.
it's
passive.
You're not
Yeah.
having to.
Yeah, you don't have
it's
to
just coming in.
work.
And I don't mean a COVID stimulus check.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know,
like,
right?
you know,
Although that helps.
that does,
What are
But-
those? I haven't got one
Yeah.
yet.
Dude, it was you got to work on that because it was a
Yeah,
Game
I
changer.
tried. I was like, shoot, everybody else is getting one. Let me try, but I'm
dang.
still haven't seen none of those. But that's
Dang.
all right too.
Well,
man.
That's good.
but no. So with the entertainment business, our uncle in Tampa, Florida, where we were both born, he runs a successful DJ business for weddings, and so he had always talked to Drew and said, "Hey, man, you could do this. You could do this. You could DJ weddings." And
My first wedding I DJ'd was awful by myself, but then Dylan and I went down and we trained with our uncle, and
Mhm.
he showed us the ropes. He showed us what makes a great DJ and
That's
how to
cool.
keep the night flowing. And so we've kind of adapted that into our.
Definitely.
so that's
brand.
that's where Two Brothers Entertainment started.
Yeah.
COVID was tough. With we had several weddings get canceled or postponed.
Yeah.
But this year's picking up, and again, all in an effort to pursue music full time. We've also adapted and opened up a few other areas of Two Brothers Entertainment, and that's one of those being artist management, and that's something that Cardiac Half is under the umbrella of Two Brothers Entertainment. That's but we get the chance, and hopefully we'll get to do so more, but to work with artists who don't really know how to do the business side of things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And again, using our story as an example of, Drew had no idea he just wanted to record music and he had a good song to record. But from there, he didn't know how to do the rest.
Yeah.
And so and again, this doesn't happen all the time, but if there's artists like him who don't know how to do it, then we can be that artist management of like, all right, well, we need to do a marketing campaign and we need to get you in the songwriting room and we need to do this digital distribution,
Photo shoot,
photo
you name it.
shoots, connect.
Y'all
And-
do just musical artists, or would y'all mind doing a podcast too?
Man, unfortunately, with the
Lord.
podcast world, y'all
Yeah.
probably know
More
do
than we
know
do.
more
Yeah.
than us.
You wouldn't guess, but probably not as much more than y'all may know. We just know that we want to do this, and
Yeah.
we're all putting it into it.
Got to
Well,
start somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
And you'll figure it out as
Definitely.
you go.
Which-
like we're figuring it out too.
which-
you know?
We've had a really big response with people that have seen the first episode that we have put out, and it's hitting people. And
That's
just want to
legit.
say we appreciate
Yeah.
all the listeners out there watching it
Wow.
that know us or may not know us. Like, we appreciate everything y'all do, and that's
Yeah.
great.
Well, y'all already have everything going so far. I mean, and seriously, for people listening, this van is literally the coolest thing ever. And
I
At
Thank
some
appreciate
point,
that.
man, y'all get a
Appreciate
camera.
Yeah, we're
and,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
getting into
We're
that.
working on
We're
it.
figuring it out as we go.
and
But
I mean the sound stuff and what Gage is doing. I mean, it's already killer. So keep.
I
keep
appreciate that a
up.
lot.
way to be engaged.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
No,
Dylan gets
but-
mad at me from it. That's some of where our fights stem from. Is I like to make corny, puns and
Yeah.
jokes,
Not
and he
just
hates it.
every once in a while, but nonstop. He's been pretty behaved today, but anyway.
That's kind of Gage does that pretty good. He'll come out of the back corner with like a corny joke, and back when I asked listeners and stuff like, what was your favorite part of the podcast or something, or it could be I've gotten so many different answers, but a lot of it is from like some funny things Gage may have like spurted out in the
Yeah, he
background
says
or
stuff.
something funny.
Respect.
It's pretty
Man,
cool.
see, look, you didn't have to get
Listen.
on to me before we got here and,
Listen,
and tell
to-
me not to say certain stuff.
To me, it's a balance because you definitely don't want to be fake and be
Definitely.
always on. People want to see who you really are, but there's also a level of professionalism that
How am I being rated today so
no.
far? What
Well,
do you think?
not well. Again, we've had some really fun people, great people in our band, but one of our best buddies at our first show, like as Drew was talking and sharing the gospel, went over and started like hitting Drew's keyboard, and we were like, "No, not the time, not the time."
I was literally like, bro, why?
So it
Mm.
comes with like, hey, like let's have a good time and be ourselves, but at times we do need to be
Oh, yeah.
professional.
Exactly.
So I try
Definitely.
not to give Drew too hard of a time when it comes to his corny jokes.
Hey, we
Definitely.
balanced each other out really well.
Yeah,
after
we're
that.
still figuring out that part as well, as far as like the professional side and just being ourselves as well, because we want to be as genuine as we can.
Yeah, for sure.
But I know we're getting along, and we'll kind of get to one of the last questions and bring up your last release so far, Looking
Sweet.
Glass. And so, why did you choose to call your last release Looking Glass? By the way.
Yeah, so really a lot of the metaphors and some of the songs that I used, I got the idea from Alice in Wonderland,
Mhm.
and then also Through the Looking Glass and what she found there.
Sweet.
And so just really whimsical and fascinating stories. And so some of the lines that like I kind of morphed into my own voice, for example, in the song was reading a book where the ending comes first and there are
Mhm.
no pictures or words. Like that doesn't make any kind of sense.
Yeah.
But yet, like in Wonderland or in The Looking Glass, like something like that makes so much sense. And so it was really cool just finding juxtapositions and how to incorporate them into this song. And so that's really where the title came from.
Sweet.
A lot of Drew's writing is like it's almost too deep for
Dude,
understanding.
I love that.
But what's funny is with our marketing campaign, we use a site called Submit Hub, where basically you submit your song for playlists, blogs, whatever, and someone declined the song and said, "Oh no, the lyrics are too simple for my taste." And I wanted to say, if you only knew how deep the lyrics actually were,
Yeah.
you would feel really awkward because it's under the guise of this breakup song, but the metaphors and what's going on is way more than what meets the eyes, and that's
Yeah.
something that Drew does with all these songs that I'm like, where do you come up with that?
There's
Each song gets better.
definitely a deeper meaning, and I like to let listeners figure out what it's
Deter.
about for themselves. And I get some varying, people will message and say, "Hey, is this song about this or is this about this?" And I'm just
Mhm.
like, "It's whatever you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
wanna
you
think
want
it-
it. Yeah.
It's
about
subjective.
it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
that's why
Yeah,
we
I
do it.
remember listening to it at first, and I was like, "This is really cool." And it was kind of confusing because I was trying to look at the deeper meaning. And I listened to it again. I put on the lyric thing on the Apple Music, whatever you can do to look at the lyrics. And I was reading.
Yeah.
I was like, "Dang, this stuff is deep, and it has a lot of meaning to it." And I can very notice that.
Well, I appreciate that.
Which
man.
I was trying to figure out before, and I knew it did. And man, it sounds great. Y'all have like crazy good instrument playing and like beats behind it, as well as y'all's voices too. Y'all are great singers.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And I also want to say as well, so I was the main songwriter on this one, but also in the writing room, once we had kind of had the song written and just kind of polishing it up, we had Bailey Waller come in and contribute a lot to the melody,
That's awesome.
which was cool. And then had Nathan Slusser in there, and then Ryan Wilson. And I'm trying to think. I don't know if there was. Oh yeah, and me.
Yeah.
And all right, you were in there too.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan Miller, everybody.
But yeah, so we had a fun time.
And again, the beats and the track and everything was produced by Spencer Boyce, and he knocked it out of the park and really
Yeah.
set a nice direction for how we want to self-produce future music. And
Mhm.
so his production skills off the chart for it. Really did the song justice.
Y'all gotten a lot of love off it so far. Y'all had like 5,000 streams or
Yeah, I
something?
think we're up
Yeah.
to 6,400 now or
That's-
something.
Dude, that's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
In our last release came at a hard time in the country's history with the protests going on. So we were trying to be sensitive to what was going on in the nation.
Oh yeah.
And so we
Yeah,
didn't
we didn't
really get to
really
push
promote
that
as well.
song.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
we try to
um,
stay away from politics as far as we can too.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll bring up things that need to be talked about in a sense, not sugarcoat things, but yeah, we're not trying to get too political as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand
sadly,
that.
we didn't know, obviously, but we released it on a Friday, and then things happened over the weekend, and that's when the protest started. So really, we were like, well, in order for us to best serve the community, we need to not talk right now. We need
Yeah.
Yeah.
to not worry about our release.
And so this time around, it was cool to see, hey, we did this the right way this time. Everything kind of fell into place.
That's
And
I think the
Yeah.
toughest thing is that sometimes it's almost never enough, and so I had to remind myself on release day, like, hey, this is a big win. It might not have landed on an editorial playlist of Spotify,
Mhm.
but there was this momentum in this, and I think as an artist, when you always compare yourself to someone else or
Mhm.
compare yourself to what your goals were, you're never gonna feel satisfied. And
Definitely.
so we've been trying to just really soak in the moment and appreciate how good people have been to us through the song.
yeah, enjoy the victories, whether
Yeah.
they're big or small. Just enjoy
Definitely.
the victories.
Just-
Yeah, we
good.
realize we have a lot of criticism within ourselves
Yeah.
upon the episodes that we have before we post it. To the point where like, all right, forget it. Let's just post it and see what people think about it or something like that.
Yeah.
And so far with the first episode, people liked it, like I said. So that's
Exactly.
really cool, and it blew us away. So we're excited and getting into it. So coming to an end, do y'all want to kind of give a shout out for yourselves and
Yeah,
what
what
y'all
y'all
are
got
doing
going on.
next, or what kind of where to find your music maybe, or find y'all?
Yeah, so we have a music video coming out for Looking Glass, and it drops on
July 16th.
Nice.
And it's the third installment of a music video universe series that we started with the last few songs, and this is part 3 and the conclusion. And so we'll be announcing that early next week,
Nice.
but it
And-
will be out July 16th.
and I'm stoked about it because it is the hardest thing to try and write a story and then like tell that story within a 3.5-minute song.
Without
Yeah.
lyrics, like
Yeah.
without vocals. Like
Yeah,
any
we
of
got
that stuff.
unlimited time on a podcast. I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine how
Yeah.
short of kind of ways to include things within a song. It
Oh,
must
yeah.
be hard.
It was hard, but I think overall, I'm impressed with how we managed to do something new because that's
That's
really
awesome.
not a thing that
We-
people are doing.
We did have
Yeah.
some setbacks with the video in the fact that we actually shot a majority of this video last summer.
Mhm.
And the reason why is because a lot of it's based in the house we were renting. And so our lease was up at the end of June. And we had to shoot a good amount of it before the song was even finished. And
Wow.
so we've kind of had to sit on this product for a year. And like I said earlier, our buddy Roger Sisk has been editing it and finishing it up. But couldn't have come at a better time. But it's been a long time sitting on it. And so we're excited to
Can't wait
drop
for you
it.
guys to see it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
we're
awesome.
we're definitely excited.
Yeah.
Thank you. After that, last thing, we do have a full 8 or 9 song album coming out in August,
Mhm.
and so that's
Let's
something we
go.
haven't done before,
Yeah.
featuring some of our last few releases and some new content. So we're excited about that.
That's
Sweet.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody follow them on Instagram and Facebook at Cardiac Calf,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
They
Thank
definitely
you.
got some really cool stuff.
Taylor,
coming
do you
out.
want
Thank
to
you.
let people know where to follow us or to like?
Yeah,
share
so
stuff?
you can follow us on any social media handle at In the Van Podcast. And we're also on all streaming platforms, so you can find us, follow us, subscribe, do all that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Sweet.
Hey, thank you guys for having us.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
It's
you.
been
Awesome.
fun.
We've had a
Been
good
really
time.
fun.
Let's give a little farewell to the end, and we'll get out of here. So, peace from me.
Peace.
Yeah. See y'all soon.
Bye, guys.
Let's go.
Where we go when we go. Where we go when we go. Where we go when we go. Where we go when we go.